All right, guys. So I'll start to slowly, got a couple of people that are just hopping on right now. So I'll slowly start to give my little spiel and then we'll get started. So if you haven't heard me already, some sort of support, props, we have a yin practice today. So yin means we're going to be holding the postures for a little bit longer. If you have some sort of a timer at home, if you're practicing these poses, the timed option is a really good option for yin. Usually I try to recommend people to start 1 to 2 minutes in the postures and progressively work your way up. So as we kind of make our way through this practice, if there's any of them that really feel good in your body or resonate with you, you can take that home anytime and just set a timer and do those postures, working them into your day. So I will not be playing any music today because this is being recorded. So if you want to have a little bit of music by your side, you're welcome to do that. Just make sure that your mic is muted, please. And then as always with yoga, but especially with yin, we'll just reconnect with that red light, green light sort of perspective. So red light pain, something hot, like you're burning yourself. Never ever want to feel a red light pain in yin or any yoga. Yellow is like a sensation. Yes, it's a sensation. I can feel it. There's a big stretch, but it's okay. It's manageable. And in yin yoga, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that kind of yellow light sensation, something that you know something's happening. And then of course, green light means everything is good. So in the yin aspect, if everything is green light, everything is a go, feels okay, then maybe you think about bringing yourself into some deeper variations or explore a little bit. In yin, we don't worry about alignment too much. It's more about how it feels in your body. So if something feels really achy, really sticky, that's okay as long as there's no red light pain. But we are looking for sensation. And then I will welcome in between our practice, in between our poses, the ability to kind of move or experience what we call the rebound effect, which is basically the tingling, the sensations that come into the body after we release the posture. So we want to kind of become drawn to those sensations. So as a yin master, I like to call myself, yin is definitely my preferred practice. I crave those sensations, those feelings, the deep release after a stretch. So maybe hopefully today you'll kind of be able to explore that and feel that and maybe have a little bit more of a draw towards the yin practice if you've never done that before. So what we'll do as always, we'll start centering and grounding. If you have any issues throughout the practice, just make sure that you're listening to your body. You're not going somewhere that your body or your mind isn't ready for. Taking the easiest variation of the posture, always acceptable here. So find yourself in a seat. Relax your arms and your shoulders. Allow yourself to find a heavy place in the sit bones. So maybe a little rock side to side. And if crossing your legs isn't comfortable, maybe you think about more of a bound angle position. That's acceptable here too. So if that's more comfortable, you can go ahead and do that. So we'll settle in. You can close your eyes or take your gaze down towards the floor. Take a deep breath in and a full audible release. And again, inhale, maybe a little deeper this time. And an audible release. And once again, inhale fully. Feel the shoulders and the chest lift with that inhale. And then audibly release, fully exhale. Drop the chin down towards the chest. Rock from side to side. The next time you end up on that left side, stay there. Maybe there's a little lift and lower of the chin to really find the tightest spot. A nice deep breath in and a full audible release. Go ahead and roll on over to the other side. Head is heavy, shoulders are heavy. Find your breath. And then roll the chin back down towards the chest. Really elongate through the back of the neck. Maybe shrug the shoulders down and back. And then slowly inhale, lift the chin, open the throat, look up if it feels okay. And then exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, bring it down. We'll come back through center. Take a gaze over your right shoulder. Find that tight spot, your range of motion. Hang out there for a little bit and then back through center and on over to the other side. Come back through center. We'll take our hands, interlace them behind the back of our head, elbows open, nice and wide. Inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, almost as if the elbows are trying to spread away from one another. Exhale, tuck the chin, bring the elbows in, and then keep moving back and forth. So you're looking for an active stretch here, something that you have to work a little bit for. And then once you've done at least 3, we'll come back and go ahead and release. Maybe give the shoulders a bit of a roll, shrug a few times. And then we'll come down onto our back body. So if you do need a little bit of support beneath your legs, we're coming into a reclined bound angle. So we're going to be here for about 3 minutes. So if you know that this pose is a little bit challenging for you, then give yourself some props so that you're not sitting there counting the seconds and waiting for us to leave the posture. So I'll show you with the bolster first. So we will bend the knees and lower down onto your back. And then in this position, when the soles of the feet come together and the knees come out wide, if that support is necessary, then we're going to place it somewhere where the outside of the knees have an opportunity to rest. Your hands can be on your belly, out to the side, or even in a bit of an overhead position. And then we're welcoming the deep breath into the area of the inner thigh, the groin, the pelvis. So if you're not using your prop, allowing yourself to embrace the sensation and not try to fight it. Using the deeper inhales to help you get into those tight and sticky places. And using your exhale to release the tension. So when we consider this posture in a class format, so if I was in the room with you, I would be asking you things like, how soft is the jaw and the line of the forehead? Are you clenching your teeth? Are you gripping with your fingers or your toes? Scan your body. Watch for the tension and the sensation. And then relax into it. Neurologically, you may find that your brain is going a little bit busy, maybe feels a little crazy. Maybe you're talking to yourself, saying, when are we leaving this pose? Those responses are letting you know that there is something happening, change is being made. So if you can embrace all of that chatter, all of the busyness, and then breathe out the tension, and you'll be able to fully absorb the benefits. Last 3 breaths, fully inhaling, fully exhaling. Help the knees back together with the hands if you need to. Take a moment here with the feet on the floor and just notice. There's a little bit of relief. But maybe there's other feelings that let you know that you've made a difference. Full breath in and out. Choose a side to roll to. And then help yourself back up. So we are going to move into a side body position now. If you have your bolster, your blanket, or a pillow, we want to have it going horizontally over the mat. This is going to get in towards the side body. So the lats, the serratus anterior, all the way down into the hip. But our main focus here is kind of the area from the bottom of the rib cage to the top of the armpit. So we have a few different variations that we're going to explore here. We'll start by lowering yourself down. It lines up with the side of your rib cage. Option 1, your head goes into your hand. Option 2, we allow the arm to extend and you let your head rest down on your arm. And if that doesn't feel comfortable and you need a little bit of support, you could use a block, a blanket, a pillow to support your head. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to leave my head in my hands. And then from here, we've got the knees stacked, we've got the hips stacked and the ankles stacked. If you want more sensation, elongate the body. So taking and lengthening the legs, stacking the hips maybe a little bit more. And then there's also the opportunity to come into an overhead extension. So with my head in my hands, I'm not personally going to do the overhead extension, but that is available for you. And then we're finding stillness here. Allow the bolster to be the part, our tool to help us access the posture. All of these props that we have, these are tools to help it make it accessible for us. So we'll welcome a few more deeper breath here. And then for those of you that want to explore a little bit, we have the option to come into a little bit of a different variation with the leg. So you can choose to stay here, or we can take this top leg and bring it towards in alignment with the hips. So in here, we just create a little bit more length through the side body, through the back of the leg. And then again, that option to reach up and over. And with this top leg, we're not working, it's not effort, it's just heavy. Full deep breath in and out. Using your hand, bringing the leg back if it's been extended, and then help yourself up and over onto the other side. And work your way in the same way with your progressions. Because it was accessible on one side does not necessarily mean it's accessible on the other. So we want to approach each side as its own. If you're choosing to support your head, go ahead, support your head. If you're coming into that overhead extension, make your way there. If you're choosing to extend the legs fully, you can make your way there as well. Be very mindful of any tension in your jaw. Send the breath to the spaces that need a little bit of love. And then again, if you want to explore the extended leg variation, you can work your way in to that extension. Then maybe that overhead. Last few breaths. Let the body be really heavy. And then if you've got that extension of the leg, bringing it back. Support yourself with your hand. And then come back up towards a seat. So our seated position, our next posture is going to be a wide-legged posture. So what we want to do is finding the long edge of your mat, or basically taking the legs out long. We want to remain that really good foundation of the sit bones. So that might mean we need to rock side to side, or we lift the flesh from beneath your sit bones. And we're going to take this into a lateral movement. So if you require a little bit of support because you are tight through your side body, maybe you have your pillow or your blanket, we're going to take the left hand, slide it down the left leg. So we really just want to engage and let the whole right side body open. The right hand can stay somewhere on the hip. Maybe it comes towards the ear. Or if you've got the mobility and you want to go for more of that overhead reach, or reaching for the toes, we can go ahead and do that. So again, demonstration purposes, I'm going to hang out here. You find your way to whatever your expression is, and then you breathe. Making sure that there's minimal effort in the head and the neck. So if you are in a position and you feel like there's just so much tension being built in the head, neck, and shoulder area, maybe you think about that support again. somehow supporting your head. Full deep breath in, complete exhale out. Inhale yourself back up, pause. Maybe you notice a difference from side to side, or there's a little bit of relief of finally being out of that side bend. When you're ready, make your way down the other way. Support your head if you need, or let it hang heavy. Going for that overhead reach if it's available. When we think about our lateral movement in our life, most people don't have a lot of side to side motion available in their mobility. They have restrictions that don't allow this side bending. So if that's your case, if that's where you're at, just really focus on your breath and be okay with the idea that you're not coming all the way down, you're not reaching your toes, you're anywhere here. As long as you're feeling a stretch, you're doing it right. Full deep breath in, heavy on your exhale. And then inhale all the way back up. And again, finding that grounding, that tall spine. So from here, we're only going to hold the forward motion for a short period of time, but I really want you to just kind of come to your edge, whatever your edge may be. I'm very mobile in this, so I will demonstrate first with a bolster, so that me flopping over in half doesn't intimidate you. So with a bolster, you could have it down on its flat side, or if you really have no ability of leaning forward in this motion, you could bring it up and plant it on your forehead. If you don't have a bolster and you have a pillow, you can kind of stack the pillow and maybe it looks something like this. Maybe you're not quite folding as far forward. But at the end of the day, our goal is to lengthen as much as we can through the back body and through the inner thighs. So when we inhale, we shift the weight forward so that the pelvis starts to tilt forward. And you'll feel that because you'll be almost rocking forward on your own. And maybe you hit a brick wall right about here. Or maybe you can continue to come further and further forward, reaching your hands out to really help elongate the posture. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where you are as long as you feel a stretch. But if you have the capability to come into a nice deep expression, go ahead and do that because it feels good in the body. And because it gives you a little bit neurologically, a little bit of like a proud moment. You're like, wow, I can do this. So wherever you are, not judging yourself, not saying, why can't I fold in half? Just being there. Accepting where you're at. Three more breaths, that's it. And then from here, if you need to, you can use your hands, help your legs back together. We will take pentacle pose or basically just a resting pose. So go ahead, lie down on your back, take a starfish position. This is going to be our place for rebound. So your starfish position allows your body to just open up into whatever it finds comfortable. So that could be palm up or palm down, feet close together or really far apart. And then just breathe in and out. All right, go ahead, give the fingers and the hands a little bit of movement. Roll the wrists, roll the ankles. Rolling onto your side body, helping yourself towards hands and knees. So we are going to come into a sleeping swan or a pigeon pose. In this, if pigeon is challenging for you, we want to use the support because we are going to be here for some time. We'll start with the right knee, bringing the right knee towards the right wrist, and then extending the left leg long. So there's two different variations that you can come into here. If you were in yesterday's class, this is our pigeon prep pose that we went into. And if that felt good for you, totally a viable option if it feels safer in your knees. But if you're able to access that pigeon, bringing the shin more towards a parallel place, and then come right down into whatever your sleeping position is. You want to let yourself become heavy into your prop. Try to soften by giving a gentle wiggle of the toes, unclenching the jaw, taking the angry eyes away and the lines of the forehead away. For those of you that have a little bit of mobility in your pigeon, if you want a little bit of a different variation, you could take your arms, reach them back behind you, and allow your head to rest down. And then the last couple of breaths here, we're really just going to dive right in to that side body again. So help yourself slightly up, just enough so that you can take your left hand and reach it towards the right side of your mat. So if that means that you're still supporting your head somehow with your prop, that's okay. Your goal is to open up through the back of that left shoulder. Full deep breath in. Complete exhale out. Supporting back in that right hand. Unwind the left. Go ahead and tuck your back toe and either come up towards a downward facing dog or back to that neutral tabletop position. And then from that neutral tabletop position, take a couple of breaths. And then bring the left knee towards the left wrist. Extend the right leg long. And decide the position of your shin based on the mobility and the happiness of your knee. Support yourself wherever you need it. So if this side is a lot tighter, be okay with that. But if you have more space, progress into a space where you find that yellow light sensation. And check in with your mind and your thoughts. Is your pigeon angry? Is it chattering? Can you dig deep enough in your mental capacity to just pause that chatter, to breathe without grit? Full deep breath in, complete breath out. And then coming into that thread, the needle variation. So right hand reaches beneath. Allow the shoulder to become heavy. Support your head if you need it. Last couple of breaths. Maybe the fingertips reach a tiny bit further. And then progressively making your way back out of your pigeon or sleeping swan. Tuck that back toe, either a downward facing dog or back to the neutral tabletop position. And then from there, you will want to make your way towards a downward facing dog. And then either walking your feet towards your hands or your hands towards your feet, we will eventually find our way up to stand. And then when we find our way to standing, we're just kind of letting gravity do the work for us here, letting everything be heavy, the soles of the feet grounding into your mat. And then from here, we're going to step the feet a little wider than hip width apart. We're going to make some transitions into a yogi squat. So we'll make 3 transitions total. Each transition will hold just a little bit longer. So the happiness of our knees is of utmost importance. The knees are going to be happily tracking over the toes. So maybe that means there's a bit of an external rotation. So take a slight bend in the knees just to feel initially what that first kind of squat position feels like. If it's good, awesome. If you need a little bit more space, go ahead and make those adjustments. So from here, grounding through the feet. When you come down, the knees are driving outwards. We want to find that stretch through the inner leg. So deep breath in, ground the feet. On your exhale, sink it down. And then your choice, you could have your hands at heart center. You could cross them over your chest. Maybe you put them behind your head. Wherever you're at, just find some stillness. So this first initial squat is typically the worst because we're asking our body to really work together to make this movement accessible. Full deep breath in, complete exhale out. And then inhale, press in through your feet. If you need to use your hands, go ahead and use your hands. Drive back up. Lengthen the legs. And then maybe there's a little bit rotation of the toes forward and then fold forward. Let your head hang heavy, little bend in the knees, shift from side to side. Coming back through center, roll up safely. Reposition the feet. Exhale in towards that squat. So if the squat is super hard for you, you could have a little bit of support beneath your heels. As we come into that third one, we are going to be holding it a little bit longer. So if you feel like you need a little bit more for the next duration, maybe we think about putting our heels onto some sort of a lift. So in this position here, if we want to drive the knees outwards by pushing the elbows into the inner knees, that's available. And check in with that chatter, with that mind that's busy, that's saying, oh my God, Jen, when is this squat going to be over? Take a full deep breath in and a full exhale out. Using your hands if you need to, press the soles of the feet into the ground, lift up. Rotate the toes, maybe a little bit forward. Slowly exhale, fold. Head is heavy, maybe you rock side to side, bend the knees. And then bending the knees, rolling back up safely. Reestablish, last one. Soles of the feet press into the ground. Open the chest, open the shoulders. Exhale, sink down, knees out. So in this variation, maybe you choose to close your eyes. Maybe you choose to tuck your chin to open up into the back of the neck. If at any time this becomes too much, come out at any time, but try to challenge yourself a little. If we're maintaining that yellow light sensation, this dull, achy feeling, ask yourself, can I just stay here a little longer? Full deep breath in. Complete exhale out. Almost there. Breathe in deeply. Exhale fully. Hands if you need them. Lengthen the legs. Move side to side, shift and bend, whatever you need. Full deep breath in. Full exhale out. Inhale, rise back up. Maybe you reach your arms over and above your head here. Find a couple of nice, really deep breaths. Really press your feet into the ground. And then exhale, release. Make your way back down towards the ground. Lie down onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. You can grab the back of the thighs or the tops of the shins. Maybe one leg gets a little bit of a tighter hug, and then the other. And then from here, we'll go ahead, we'll hold on to the right knee, right shin. So either the back of the leg or the top of the shin, and then extend that left leg long. So our goal here is to really try to feel the length through the front of the left leg. Maybe you visualize and imagine that the sole of your foot has a wall to press into. It doesn't matter if the foot externally rotates, but there's this active energy as we initiate the posture that really finds as much length as there is available. And then you have the option, you stay there and breathe, or we change this into a half happy baby. So grabbing for the inside of the foot or the ankle, and pulling the right knee down towards the outside of the ribs. And if you want to dive into that hamstring a little bit, maybe you think about extending the leg long. Thinking about bringing the toes up towards your right shoulder rather than out towards the right side. A full deep breath in and out. And with control, the same way that we came in, one more of those hugs of the knees, and then we'll extend right leg long, left knee in. So typically people are tighter on their right side through the front of their right hip. So if this is the case for you, maybe there's a little bit of a different variation from side to side, and that's okay. So the first initial one, maybe we just stay with that hug. Maybe we bring the knee slightly outwards. Maybe it's that half happy baby. Or maybe you're progressing again towards the length in the back of the leg. Last couple breaths. Bend back in the knee if it's extended. Hug the knee back into the chest. Taking that pentacle pose or that star pose one more time. Fully extend both legs. Take your arms out. Allow yourself to feel the full back body connected to your mat. A deep breath in and out. Take as many of those deep breaths as you feel like you need. And then when you're ready, we will transition on to your side body. Help yourself back up. And then we need our bolster or our pillow or a rolled up blanket to go vertically this time. So in this vertical position, it will now support our entire upper body. So we want to bring the lower body in towards kind of a mermaid sort of a position so that we can rotate our torso towards the bolster. So if you are pregnant or have any issues with the torso where maybe you can't rotate, you can stay with this pose on your side again, either allowing the arm to come on the outside of the bolster or on top, whatever feels most comfortable. We're looking to create a little bit of length through the outside of the hip. For a full spinal twist, if it is available to you, you will be taking your right ear towards the bolster so that you are looking away from your knee. We want to feel the rotation from the low back up towards the shoulder. So if you can find some length in that rotation, really elongate the spine, elongate the upper body, and find a little bit of a deeper twist for the last few breaths. And then slowly walk your hands back towards your body and then pivot and rotate to the other side. So finding the hip, some sort of a mermaid-ish shape with your legs, stacking the feet over top of the knee. Rotate the body towards the bolster or on your side, and then come on down to this side. And if you are taking that full spinal twist, the gaze comes away from the knees, over to the other side. And just a few breaths more. And then help yourself up and off of your bolster and roll onto your belly. If you have your blanket or your block, we have the opportunity to use it in our last posture here. So if this one isn't accessible to you, don't worry about it. We won't be here for too long. Just want to take one more passive opening through the hips. So you're going to bring yourself towards the belly. When we lower down onto the belly, we want to establish that really good connection through the front of the pelvis. So maybe there's a couple of shifts side to side. And then from here, we're going to take our right knee out towards the right side, like you're crawling through mud. And it can stay on the ground. Or if we're using this elevation, then the inner knee is supported by our block. So in this position, you can choose to humble down and be more in a sleeping or a resting posture. If you are open to it and it feels okay, you could also come into a bit of a Sphinx pose here. And our goal, just letting the pelvis be heavy, letting the belly be heavy. And just for exploration purposes, if you are in your Sphinx pose and you want to try something a little bit deeper, you can come in towards seal, helping yourself, extending the arms fully, and then just breathing in to the front of the hips and the low belly. On your exhale, you will release your variation, extend the right leg long. Take a couple seconds, rock side to side maybe. And then go ahead and move over to the other side. So left knee out towards the left side. Maybe this side is a little different. If you've got the space, elevate the knee. And then again, either your Sphinx pose or a more passive variation. Or if you are going to progress in towards the seal variation, we lengthen our arms. Full deep breath in. Complete exhale out. Find your way back with that left leg. Rock a little side to side. And then go ahead, lie down and roll onto your back body. Hug your knees into your chest. I'm going to come to seated while you guys are going into your Shavasana, just so that I can guide you properly. So taking the time to really just extend the body, find a comfortable spot. Maybe there's a couple of movements or fidgets or comfort adjustments you need to make. And in this space, we thank our body for enjoying or maybe not enjoying the practice of yin. Maybe for some of you, coming out of your comfort zone a little. But ultimately knowing that the rest and reset that this practice offers is way more important than any of the physical benefits that you will find. Our parasympathetic nervous system now realizes that we are safe and supported. No more effort required from the body. We now are able to just rest and be. Adding a little bit of depth to your breath. If you feel the need to inhale and exhale deeply a few times, go ahead and do that. And then slowly start to welcome movement into your fingers and your toes. Maybe there's a reach or a stretch. And when you feel ready, choose a side to roll to. And then help your way back to a seat. And then in our seated position, finding that grounding through the sit bones once again. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Audible exhale from your mouth. One more time, breathe it in and out. Hands can stay as they are if you want to bring them towards heart center. Take a moment to honor yourself, your health, and your practice. Thank you for sharing that with me today. Have a lovely day. Namaste.